Yo, what's going on, fellas? It's your boy the Bus, and we bringing you a special episode of the 2026 Hall of Fame. Now, before I get into these candidates, I want to introduce you to the Hall of Fame staff. And you got your boy Addy, those Texans. What's going on, man?
Bus, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much. And you got the other members of the staff. You got Tight Work. What's up, man?
Hey, it's been a long cycle, man. Let's see these nominees.
All right, and last but not least, we got Sweets 99. What up, homie? Sweets 99, you there? All right. Well, I'm sure he's here. Hopefully, he'll say something sooner or later. But, man, so this is the 2026 Hall of Fame, and some guys gonna be mad about their players might not make it, but as you guys know, there's always 10 candidates, so 10 and only 10, and 5 gonna make it. So don't get in your feelings, man. But it's just how you got how the players produce and how we think they matched up versus other guys in the league. So let's dig right into it, man. And let's not mistaken. This is in no order. So, to make sure you understand that. So let's go ahead and introduce the first candidate, and that's Denard Wheaton, the defensive end from the Houston Texans. Now, Mr. Addy, I think you know this guy pretty well.
I do.
So I'm gonna give you the platform right now to talk about Mr. Denard Wheaton.
Dang, bro, you put the pressure on me. I feel like I got to lobby for my guy. But, this Hall of Fame stuff, just to, piggyback, I think it's really cool for every user in the league. You work to develop players, and this is where you see your hard work finally come to fruition. I think that it's always cool to see for years on end with the classes, a player that you had be on these lists. So it's always an honor. But Wheaton, man, what's not to like about him? The only creative player in the cycle to be a 99 to reach that overall. A hell of a pass rusher, man. A hell of a pass rusher. Before he even came to the team, we were struggling defensively. I think that year, prior to him coming, we might have finished in like the 20s overall, and he's completely shifted the defense. In these last 4 years, I want to say he's totaled somewhere near 120 sacks, which is insane for the position.
To be exact, is 124.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, I mean, dominant pass rusher, a player anybody would love to have on their team.
Yeah, Mr. Wheaton is that guy that, as you mentioned, everybody would want to have on their team, man. I mean, a guy with 31 tackles for loss, 124 sacks, 233 tackles, man. I mean, dude is amazing. So, Tight Work, Sweets, man. What y'all got to say about Mr. Wheaton, man?
The thing that I like about him is outside of his rookie year, he's averaged over 25 sacks. He had that peak in 2025 when he hit 50, which is, godly in itself. But I just like the consistency. To be a Hall of Famer, I like you to be consistent the whole time there. And he has been.
Yeah.
Dude, y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
All right, I'm on the guy. Dang, what? I got to fight for my life. Nah, but man, you know what? To be completely honest, I think I remember the night that he got drafted.
Oh yeah.
And from the time he got drafted, dude was like, yeah, he gonna be a monster. And that's exactly what he was. You could tell as soon as he got drafted, he was going to be something serious. 99 overall, like that's crazy to get that up in a matter of 5-6 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. He was as advertised, man.
Hey,
that's
one thing, man. Hey, shout out to Randy.
Oh yeah.
That pig's supposed to be coming to me, and we should have been a Dolphin, but shout out Randy.
Yo, Randy, you made the right move, brother.
Hey,
Pick number 9, man. Think about the 8 other guys that went before him. They're looking just silly salty right now. Oh
Uh-huh.
God.
hey, but I mean, I think Wheaton knew what his overall was gonna be once he finished. I mean, he came in wearing number 99, so he was telling you what was up right there. You know what I'm saying?
And hold on, man. You focused him a little too long, bro. You ain't had to keep focusing after you hit 95. Come on now.
Yeah, I think it was a goal of mine to get him there because I saw nobody else had gotten a player there, so it was just like a game within the game kind of thing.
Yeah,
he definitely a horse, man. He deserved to be up there.
Yeah. So Denard Wheaton is one of the 10 candidates that could be a Hall of Famer. We don't know yet, so we're gonna have to stay tuned. But next up, we're gonna stay on the defensive side of the ball in the AFC, and this is one of my favorite guys, man. I mean, a lot of folks might not like him, but this guy was a 6th-round pick 191, Deion Sanders, man. I like the guy because he was that person that everybody passed up on. In the 6th round, and you come up with 58 tackles for loss, 108 sacks, and 258 tackles. I mean, I commend the guy, man. I really like Deion Sanders, and I think he deserves to be one of the 10 candidates that could be the 2026 Hall of Fame class. That's just me.
Bruh, to be on the opposite side of Joey Bosa, to be picked 6 in the 6th round, you don't expect this dude to be what he came out to be, man. You expect him to be a role player.
Right.
You know, he on the opposite side of a legend of your team leader, and he's just supposed to be there to just, play his role, and he turned out to be a beast, man. 6th round pick?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a lot of teams that passed up on him, man.
A lot of teams, including us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now he's sitting at a 90 overall, but I mean, Deion Sanders is a beast, man. I would love to have a guy like this on my team. So I commend Deion Sanders for being in the top 10 as far as like the candidates for the Hall of Fame. So that was 2 defensive players, man. So I know that a lot of guys like the offensive guys, man, because they feel like that's where all the the points are scored, and those are the main players of a team. So let's switch over to the offense, man. We're going to dive right on into the wide receiver position, man. And we're going to look at Mr. Deion Collins from Atlanta. So he was a 1st-round pick, pick 15. And as you see his stats, 49 touchdowns, 450 receptions, 8,888 receiving yards. How do you think Deion's... well, let me ask you this. Do you think he should be here? I mean, we've had a lot of good wide receivers in the DML.
I would say absolutely. Production across the board. When you look at his receiving yards, since he's come into the league, first year 1,300 yards as a rookie, took the DML by storm. And when you look on that side of the ball, especially with Deion, who for most years I've known him has never been a passer.
Right.
He's been really a running kind of guy, and Collins has changed completely how he's approached the game. So surefire deserves to be on this list.
Yeah. I like Mr. Collins as well, man. Go ahead, Tight Work.
Yeah, I think he should be on here, but it's a couple knocks on him. When he got to Atlanta, did he make the offense better? Give him a win or 2 more? And like his stats is outstanding. Only the touchdowns. The touchdowns is the only question mark I have on him, but he's a
49.
baller. He deserves to be nominated. Whether or not he get there, I don't know, but he's a baller and he should be here.
Gotcha. I mean, he also won. He also appeared in 4 Pro Bowls and won the Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2020. So with those accolades, man, I guess you got to put a guy like Deion Collins, in the running for the Hall of Fame class.
Right.
So I mean, who else came out that year? Was it what's the guy from Washington, man? The big
Was
guy.
that Curry?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Frank Curry. I kind of expected Frank Curry to be here, but he kind of fell off. You know what I'm saying? But that could just been the production from the offense that was being ran in Washington. So, but Deion Collins I think he deserves to be here. 8,800 yards, 88 yards receiving yards. That's a lot, man. So, next up, we're gonna stay in the same position, man. We're just gonna switch over to the AFC, and we got one of the guys on the show Mr. Will Smith. Type, this is one of your guys, and
Well,
I'm talking about Will. I'm talking about Will Smith.
yeah, welcome to Miami.
Hey,
yeah.
we got Mr. Will Rice.
Don't be disrespecting that Rice bloodline.
Hold up, man. Hold up. I said Will Smith, but man, hey, Will Smith a legend too. So
That's a fact.
come on, man. That's a great comparison, man. I mean, Will Rice ain't mad. I compared him to Will Smith, but
You saying that because they light skin, huh?
nah. But let's stick to football.
Alright.
Mr. Will Rice, first round pick number 5, has 310 receptions, 51 touchdowns, 5,767 receiving yards. Now, his production is a little lower than Deion Collins. So when you see that, yeah, you gotta say Deion Collins should be here. But tight work. This is your guy. So tell me why Mr. Will Rice is one of the 10 candidates for the Hall of Fame.
Because, the production, Collins been there longer than Rice. And in a short time, I think 2 to 3 seasons longer, and Rice has more touchdowns than him in a short span.
Okay.
And when he came to Miami, he made Miami better.
Right.
It's been a slow crawl to get better, but he was the missing piece that added to the offense, that made our offense a little bit more dynamic. Because we want to run the ball, so receivers are getting overlooked and catch like 5 catches on the season. And his first season, he got 99, and he got 310 for his career so far with 51 touchdowns.
Mhm.
That's he like Pops. All he do is catch touchdowns, man.
Right. And you did mention that, Collins has 2 more years than him, which I've just verified. Yeah. Collins been in the league 7 years. Rice has been in the league 5 years. Now, the one accolade that stands out about Will Rice is he led the league in receptions 1 year. So that's pretty huge. You know what I'm saying? So he also won 2022 Offensive Rookie of the Year with 3 Pro Bowl appearances. So I think he deserves to be here as well, along with Collins and Wheaton and Sands that we mentioned previously. Tweets, Addy, y'all got anything y'all want to say about Mr. Will Rice?
And
It's crazy, man. The tight already was good, and then he just got another weapon. As soon as he picked him, I'm like, God dang, this was a monster.
Yeah.
He's that big. He ain't a burner, but if you see some of these athletic catches and some of these, he's probably hurdled your favorite cornerback at least once in the league, man. Like, and when I say hurdled, man, he literally is the biggest person on the field jumping in the air. It's a sight to see, man. I'm telling you.
6'6",
But
218.
as soon as he got him, I knew he was gonna be a monster, man. He's always a killer.
So I mean, Addy, you run an offense, man, where you like to pass and utilize, I would say like the shifty and quick receivers. What do you think you could do with a guy like Will Rice? Is he your prototype receiver, or do you think he's just too big?
I think he's the type of receiver that can fit in any system.
Mhm.
Just get the ball to him in his vicinity, and it's gonna come down to it. My only knock on Will Rice is that he's a Dolphin and that I got to play him. Imagine having to stack the box and you got to leave a 6'6" giant one-on-one and just pray on the outside. And a lot of times it comes down with those tough balls and tough situations. And
Right.
like Tate said, he took a good team and made them that much better. And that's what you look for with a Hall of Fame candidate, a guy that can make a team better,
Right.
but that can also get individual accolades. One who when you see him on the field, you got to scheme for him and against him.
Right. Yeah. Will Rice is that type of receiver, man, that, as you guys mentioned, anybody would want him on their team. I mean, I know I would. I don't even pass like that, but I would definitely like Will Rice.
If you had a 6'6" receiver, you would. You see what Lane doing? Throwing the ball up,
Yeah.
they don't even need to.
Right. Right. Yeah, Will Rice is that guy, man. So, hopefully, he can get the votes and be in that final 5. That would be the DML's 2026 Hall of Fame class. However, let's keep it moving, man, and we're going to slide back to the defense, and we have the guy Allen Oliver from the Cleveland Browns. Oliver has 46 deflects, 45 interceptions, and for a guy that's in the secondary, 538 tackles, man, that's a lot, you know. But he's had a long career and a long productive career in Cleveland, where they've been to the playoffs numerous times. So Allen Oliver, I think, deserves to be here as well. So you guys can chime in and tell me the pros and cons of Allen Oliver and why you think he may not need to be here.
Anybody know?
Crickets. Don't hold back.
Hey, yeah.
It's hard. It's hard for a DB as is, and then especially a safety.
Yeah.
But you know the game is geared towards D lines and linebackers shining, and he was drafted in the top 5, I believe. He's been consistent his whole time he's been in Cleveland. He's been a baller. His stats speaks for himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He won a couple of awards, but like the consistency thing for me, and then the Cleveland defense has always been like a top 10 defense. So that was just like a missing piece. They had 2 corners on the outside that was locking you down. Then you added him to the middle, and he just did his thing. I like him. You know what I'm saying? I think he deserved to be here.
Right.
But he's one of those positions where you don't know how good he is until you go back and check the stats.
Yeah.
See what he did.
I also think Allen Oliver is one of those guys, man. As you mentioned earlier, Tyke, his stats speak for itself. Because when you look at his accolades, they don't really compare to other guys that we've mentioned or we've seen earlier. I mean, he's only had 1 Pro Bowl in his 7-year career, and he won 2022 Best Defensive Back. So if a guy like this gets in, it's gonna be because of his stats and what the staff feels like he can bring to the Hall of Fame. So, right. But when you're looking at the tackles and the interceptions, I mean they're up there with any other defensive back in the league. So maybe it's not all about the accolades. I don't know.
I think he got more tackles than any defensive back in the league.
I mean 538. He should.
Yeah, because they ain't got the interceptions to go with it, so I ain't much to say about that, man.
I mean, I like the guy. This is another. I mean, I'm a defensive guy. I would love to have a guy like this on my team. You know.
Man, it's like you said, at least for me, when you think about Hall of Famers, and looking at this list, I'd agree thus far with all the nominees. It's guys that scare you. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
Does this guy scare me? Do I got to stay away from this guy? Yeah. When I look at him, he's coming up to make tackles in the run game, and he's covering the back end. So a guy like this that's super productive on you know what I'm saying, the football field, he got to make a list like this.
Yeah. Allen Oliver is definitely a guy you should be scared of. And when you come to the line, that should be the first person you're looking for. Hey, where's this guy at? You know what I'm saying? Not the D lineman, but the strong safety for the Cleveland Browns. You know, so yeah, he's definitely a guy I can be scared about. So moving right along, man, this is another guy that I'm just terrified of. And he's on that status with the guy that we mentioned earlier, Denard Wheaton. This guy's named Perry Manning. He's a 2nd rounder, pick 62 in the draft. Sweets 99, this is your guy. So
the GOAT.
So you tell us why this guy is deserving of to be a candidate of the Hall of Fame.
Hey, mama, we made it, baby. We in here. Yeah.
So, looking at the stats. Looking at the stats.
Out, man. Listen. Look at the stats, bro. We almost got 200 sacks.
My Lord.
Hey, no lie, man. This dude, I picked him up because he didn't get invited to the combine. He didn't work out. There was pictures circulating with him with a weed mask on, and I don't know who put it out there. But the Cardinals organization took a chance on this man. We sat him down for the first year of his career. Like, hey, look, you're gonna have to learn, young fella. You're gonna have to get it quick. He came in and he hit the ground running, man. I don't have his year by year stats in front of me, but I will tell you, he just sprang out of nowhere, man. I think he went from 20 sacks to 50 sacks. And he just started balling, man. And you know, somebody that got passed over just because his off the field indiscretions, man. Hey, I'm just we in here, man. Yeah, we in here, baby. Woo!
Well, he mentioned earlier that at the beginning of his career, it started off kind of slow. He went from 5 sacks to 22, and that one big year in 2023 where they put his name on the map, he had 50 sacks. So that's a huge jump. You know what I'm saying? I think I seen one game. He might have had like 7 in one game. So it was just all up from there, man. I mean, Perry Manning is a beast. 62 tackles for loss, 189 sacks, 390 tackles. This guy can play any position on the defensive line. And now, as Addy mentioned earlier, he feels like a Hall of Famer is a guy. He feels like a guy in the Hall of Fame you should be scared of. Well, I'm terrified of Perry Manning.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Where is he at? If he's on the left, I'm going to the right. If he's on the right, I'm going. If he's in the middle, I don't know where I'm going. Because he can get to the left and right so quick. You know what I'm saying? So with a guy like Perry Manning, man, he definitely deserves to be here. I like Perry, and I'm gonna wait to see if he makes that final 5.
Listen, I know we don't got a final list out. But the GOAT, I don't know if anybody would disagree with the GOAT being on the list, man. I'm looking at his awards, bro, and he's won Defensive Player of the Year 3 times.
Wow.
In a 6-year career. So that's once every 2 years he's been the best defensive player on that side, and that's impressive.
Yeah, with the 4 Pro Bowls, Defensive Player of the Year, man, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we don't know how the Hall of Fame staff is going to vote, man. I mean,
very true.
His off the field issues could keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
Man.
I mean, do we
grew up with anger issues, man?
Yeah.
He was forgotten about Manning.
Hey, man, we ain't had no daddy in the home, bro.
Man. So you say he related to Archie and them? That's
the
word.
Hey,
man.
This is son Archie. This is the son Archie don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Hey, when you on the road, you know what? We ain't gonna go there, man. Just
man.
Gotcha. All right, so
somebody in that Manning family went over the other side of the fence.
Hey, we Jon Snow on it out here. This is the bastard son, baby. Shout out to Archie, bastard son.
Oh man. So we just talked about Perry Manning and how beastly he is, but you got to ask yourself, can Perry Manning catch the fastest guy that's possibly on the field?
Oh, yeah, catch. I don't know why I thought we talking about.
Look, man, Perry Manning can't do everything, man. But can he catch Nazir McKinley? Now, this guy right here, man, I don't know how he compares to like other Hall of Famers that's been inducted into the DML Hall of Fame, but this guy right here definitely stands out. And with 987 rushes, 8,186 yards, 108 total touchdowns. I don't know if that's combined with rushing, receiving, kick return, punt return. This guy does it all. You know what I'm saying? So, and let's not forget, he was on a team with Saquon Barkley, 4th round pick number 10 in the 4th round. Like, man.
Hey, let me sound off on this one, man.
Yeah.
Let me sound off on this one, because I was the first person to say, why in the world would you be playing this man, starting this man, getting him so much time when you got Saquon? Saquon should be the best running back this whole cycle of Madden. Ain't no reason why he shouldn't have been the best running back. Saquon is right there. He a god. Until I played him, and he had a kickoff return on me, a punt return for a touchdown. I think he passed to him, and he had 3 rushing touchdowns. I was like, what in the world? Bruh, this dude is so fast on the field. And man, he got the accolades, and I think he has the stats to prove it, man. 8,000 yards?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Crazy.
In a short time, man. That right there is a, and he's a part of he's a part of a 2-back system. So he doing this while Saquon getting his.
Sharon carries. Yep.
The only knock I have on McKinley is that he hasn't been healthy through his whole career.
Right.
But he's on the field, he's a monster. And
Right.
it's somebody else you just can't gloss over. So I give him his props, man. I hate it, but now I'm a believer.
But hey,
My thing is, like Addy said, they got to strike fear of you. I remember playing the Giants, and it was like 3rd and long, and he gave him a draw, and he went 80 yards. I was like, yeah, I got to stop that dude right there. We got to stop that dude right there. him ain't going to. And then he still busted another long one on me. I was like,
hey,
he scared me, man.
McKinley's the man, bro.
You better find him.
Right. And as you see, he has 8,186 yards. But I want to say a member of the staff gave me his total yards, and it was like 14,000. So
Jesus Christ!
Like total yards, like everything that he's doing. Like, come on, man. So
that's why he be hurt so much. That might be it.
That could be it. I mean, he's a workhorse, man. So,
God dang.
But I mean, 987 rushes, 108 total touchdowns. That's I see why he's here. But
you know, it's funny too.
Yeah.
Looking at the awards, I think he's the only creative player with the MVP too, right?
I believe so. I haven't seen that on nobody else except him.
Yeah,
and he led
so.
the league in rushing one year. So
he's a monster.
2024, he was the MVP. He was the offensive player of the year and best running back, and he also has 3 Pro Bowl appearances. So this is a guy you should probably fear. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But let's slide back onto the defensive side of the ball, and this was a guy that kind of crept in at the end of some of the voting, and this is Mr. Pearson Steele from the Steelers. Now, he has 80 deflects, 48 interceptions, and 368 tackles. Now, we all feared defensive linemen, Wheaton, Manning, and those in Oliver. Is this a guy you should also fear?
Yeah. Yeah, he got 48 interceptions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they front seven, he had the Smash Brothers.
Yes.
With playing with him. And then you throw at this guy, he picked him off. You feared him, but like my knock on him is he got awards, he got Pro Bowls, but he hasn't been consistent his whole time in the league. Like he had a couple seasons he dropped below 6 interceptions. And you're the elite corner, that should be like the baseline.
Right.
Every year it's 6. And sometimes he went MIA. Teams stopped throwing at him because they feared him. That could have been a reason. Or that the Smash Brothers just made everybody fumble. Their defense wasn't on the field.
For real.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you got to respect him out there. Fear.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it 100. Who is this, bro? I don't know this player at all.
Man.
Listen,
You're the NFC.
You right. But I don't remember none of y'all saying, "Hey, that Steel dude over there, bro." I don't remember none of y'all EFC dudes saying, "Hey."
Well,
you know what it is.
He's overshadowed. He's overshadowed.
You know what it is. It's like Bus said. As a secondary player, I think. Shout out to all the players that made this list in the secondary. It's super tough because, like, most times when they know you in the secondary, it's because you're doing a bad job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get picked on and things like that. And plus, like you said, like he plays in a secondary with Boss and Edmonds, where it's guys that sometimes you're looking at those guys, and some might say maybe he was a product of more people coming his way because they weren't staying away from them other guys. I mean, it's up for interpretation, but
hey, I'm gonna go with y'all, man, because I don't remember y'all saying, "Dang, that dude Steele in a Hall of Fame." They got Dion, they got flashy corners. I don't remember anybody. Hey, man, y'all hear about this corner? He alright, but you know what I'm saying? Nah,
he did. He won. He went to the Pro Bowl a couple times.
I ain't hating.
Defensive back of the year. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know.
Yeah, he got 3 Pro Bowl appearances.
He broke the interception record one year, I believe.
Yeah, 15 one year.
Yeah.
That was one of his hot years. He had
2024.
3 good years, and the rest of it he was just there.
I mean, I might be a little retarded, but don't know secondary players scare me. So it's a little, you know what I mean? Like I guess.
Yeah.
worthy in terms of accolades, but like I'm throwing at whoever. Like that's just how I get down.
Gotcha.
So that might hurt him in the long run with all these pass rushers and these home run hitters on offense. But I think the player, if you're just looking at the player, good player for sure.
Yeah.
In
Definitely.
comparison to everybody else, can he make the list? I'm not mad about him being on the list. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's
Right.
we had that one last vote and Pearson still slipped in. So not knocking him, saying he doesn't compare to everybody else, but
Right.
that must be the day that Sweet 99 was asleep. Since he didn't hear about
Hey,
he didn't hear about Pearson Steele.
I'm just saying, man. I ain't heard y'all say a lot, man. I'm looking at his stats right now. It say he's the 6th overall ranked cornerback on the game. Okay,
See, like my thing is like, okay, the Hall of Fame. Like I understand with the fear factor, but I want you to be dominant for your whole tenure, and
Yeah,
not
I respect
have
that.
like 2 to 3 hot years, and then everything else is like flatline. You know what I'm
I
saying?
respect that.
I can live without the awards. The awards are great. They pushed him up there because he was dominant those 3 years. But every year, did you consider him one of the top 5 corners in the league? And he only had 3 times he was top 5, and everything else he was like below. That's the only knock I have on him. But he's a hell of a player, Sweets. If he was in the AFC, well, he'd have been overshadowed by them Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was out there. He was out there.
Right. So let's keep it moving, man. We're gonna stay in the secondary, and we got another Miami Dolphin coming up. And that's Ronald Reedy.
who?
Right?
Who is these bums, man?
Oh man.
Oh no! You know him.
Ronald Reedy.
Man.
Ronald Reedy.
So he's doing like the secondary, man.
You know Mr. Reedy.
So
Yeah, like-
let's look at his stats real quick, man. He got 3 sacks, 30 interceptions,
man.
122 deflections. Now
Jeez,
I like
man.
that, but how does he?
Can't catch.
He can't.
That's
Yeah.
what that means. That's what that means.
Hey, at the same time, receivers ain't catching the ball on the
Oh man.
Just they throwing at him and they not getting completions. You know what I'm saying? Hey, could he have caught some more? Yeah, he can't catch.
Yeah, he can't catch it one bit.
Hey, but he gonna knock it down.
That's funny.
Man, so hey, I mean, explain why you feel like Ronald Reedy, should be here with these, 10 candidates for the 2026 Hall of Fame.
Because hey, he don't fear you before the game, but after the game, you know his name. Bars.
Ronald Reedy.
Hey, no, but like comparing him to Steele, Brandon Steele still got awards, accolades, but Reedy has been consistent. What he is. The first year he started off slow, and then he played on a good defense. The defense raised the level when we had him after, 2 years. He started off slow, but you can count on him
To knock the ball down.
on one side of the field. You're not gonna get a lot of completions over there. He's gonna, like every other corner in this game, they're gonna get beat, but he's gonna lock it down more often than you catch it.
Gotcha.
And that's all you can ask for. And then when you go look at his stats, no Pro Bowls. He played opposite Howard and a whole bunch of other dogs in that Miami defense. But I don't know how the game pick who go to the Pro Bowl. His stats, if you look at his stats said he should have been to a couple.
Right.
I'd agree.
And he's been consistent the whole time. It's like, I think one year he had under 6 interceptions, and then that year he led the league in deflects. But he has everything.
Yeah. Hey, y'all might need to work with him, man, and get him catches or something, man. Or give him some new gloves or something, man.
So that's the only thing I said. You know what I'm saying? He's been dominant for his whole time here. Is his stats eye popping? Do we got a bunch of awards and everything to back him up? No. But after you play the Dolphins, 21
Yeah.
gonna show up every game.
So we got 21 as one of the 10 candidates for the Hall of Fame, Mr. Ronald Reedy, aka I can't catch, but I'll knock it down.
Rick's fans.
Yeah. So, hey, rounding out the top 10, man, we got another receiver coming in here. from the Green Bay Packers, and that's Mr. Nolan Arnaud. He's a first-round pick, pick 32 in the first round, last pick in the first round. So he plays on the Packers. He's won numerous Super Bowls, man. Got 100 touchdowns, 370 receptions, 9,992 receiving yards. This is a receiver who probably deserves to be here. How do you guys feel about Nolan compared to Collins or Will? I thought I was gonna say Smith, huh? Will Rice. You know what I'm saying? So how do y'all think about Nolan Arnaud?
I'm gonna keep it 100, the same amount of touchdowns he got.
Gotcha.
If it wasn't for those touchdowns, I wouldn't know who he is. You know what I'm saying? The Packers O-line running backs scared you, but Arnaud put points on the board.
Right.
And then you go back and look at him, you're like, damn. he got off. You know what I mean? Nah, he good. He deserved to be here, man. He's played longer than Rice, and he's been more productive, more consistently over the time he's been there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Overshadowed by other receivers in the league. You know what I'm saying? Because oh my goodness, this cycle here was some crazy stats getting up for receivers at times.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
And then you go back and look, he almost got 10,000 receiving yards and 100 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean,
nothing you can say bad about that.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me sip my drink so I get into this one.
And he got and he got some rings.
Let me go for you, go, because he's sound.
Ahead, bro. I'm
You sound.
I can't stand this motherfucker.
Oh my god. Let me paint a neutral before you go off the cliff. As a passer, because I'm always gonna be that. I definitely like this receiver. Really productive receiver. What sucks too when I'm looking at this list offensively, user impacts like these wide receivers and these halfbacks. It's a lot of user input in it. So a lot of these players, the better users or the guys that know how to use these positions better, often can get on these lists versus a D lineman who's doing it on his own. So when you look at this guy, I think he benefited from being in on a team full of stars. We know that Packers team is run first, and it's been like that for the most part. Mm-hmm. But it started, if you look at it, it's starting to transition where he airs the ball out more, and Arnaud is definitely a big part of that. Right. I've seen this guy come down in traffic, and I'm talking 3 defenders.
Boy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. Finish, man.
Yeah, so like, definitely deserves to be on the list. If you ever hear him talk about it, he'll let you know what he think about him. The best receiver in the league, in the class. He is Arnaud, however you say his name.
Yeah.
He is a supporter of this guy. But great player for sure. And like the other 9 players, I have no issue with him being on this list.
Gotcha.
Look, man, this dude is on the best team he could possibly be on for the cheese, bro. Cheesehead is the motto over here. Let me tell you something. I think I played him maybe 6 times in NFC Championship. Mm-hmm. And if it's one play where I'm like, damn, this some bullshit, it's always him, bro. He comes down with the play that just is the reason why he win the game. I might lose by 7, I might lose by 3, I might lose by 1, whatever. It's this dude. He'll come down over 3 dudes, catch the ball, and I'm just losing my mind. I done threw the lotion bottle on the floor. Bro, I'm telling you, this dude, man, it's amazing what he's done with him, because he came out and he made it to the end of the first when he drafted him, and he built him up, and he is one of the best receivers in the league. He definitely is. But God, I can't stand seeing him in the playoffs. Every NFC Championship game I have lost is because of this guy. Or he's had a big piece of it.
Yeah,
he just makes plays, especially in the playoffs. He makes some crazy catches, and I hate him. But would I vote for him in a as a candidate? Maybe, I don't know. We'll think about it. He's a beast, man. So
I mean,
that's all I got.
That's what
Hey,
Hall of Famers do,
well,
man. They make plays, and according
Fact. That's a
to
fact.
Sweets
well,
99, he makes plays. So
he won. He won the Packers a Super Bowl versus the Dolphins and lost in one because he had a
Mm.
blind moment in that last Super Bowl, wide open and didn't attempt to catch the ball. Hey,
Oh my
I,
God.
I, I don't know what it was. Maybe the lights was shining. I think Don Shula put the ball down. He just missed the judgment trying to catch it. Thanks, Don.
well, with that being said, that could be something that the Hall of Fame crew, keeps him out of the Hall of Fame. You just never know how we gonna vote on this. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh
but
man.
overall, Nolan Arnaud is a great receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Light little plug
Yeah.
before we continue. As one of the voters, I think it's like 8 of us like that. As one of the voters for anybody whose player has made this list, I have my Cash App information in DM if you like it, and we can negotiate this voting process. Just let me know.
Right. So, man, we're gonna give you a quick look at the 10 guys that was in the that's candidates for the Hall of Fame. As you see, you got Oliver Reedy and all those guys, man. But what we gonna do, man? If you guys have any any guys that you think probably should be here, this is probably time to mention it. The 10 is set. We got to get down to 5. But who would be one of your honorable mention guys?
Man, I got 2. I got Streeter, the corner from San Francisco. He's been in the league, 3 years? And he's average. And
He's
you
a
can't
monster.
throw him, boy. You can't throw him. He been in the league for 3 years and got 46 interceptions already.
Gotcha.
Nah, he's a monster, boy.
That's just crazy.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I wish he played a little longer so he could have got here. I don't know what it was, why he got slept on, but he's a bad man. And then my last guy is Sweet's guy, his running back. The Cardinals was all pass till they drafted him. And then now they actually run the ball. I see Sweets running the ball a little bit more with Sydney. You know what I'm saying? And he's been in the league 5 years. He got 6,325 yards and 92 touchdowns in 5 years.
So you got Streeter from the Niners and you got Sidney from the Cardinals that you think should be honorable mention.
Yeah.
Sweets, you got anybody
That
you might want to mention?
Come back to me. I can't think of them.
All right, Addy, anybody you want to mention that didn't make the final 10?
I'm pretty set with the 10.
Okay.
I know pass rushers were huge in this game.
Yes.
The only creative players I would show some love to was I know the Packers has a DM, Bingham, Chester on the Seahawks, who used to be a Brown.
Right.
Those two come off the top of my head. Those are the 2 biggest what ifs.
Yeah.
If they were to produce a little longer, maybe they could have got on the list. But for the most part, nah.
Gotcha.
Oh, I remember mine. Alex Collins. Schema made him nice.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the Saints made him a playoff contender, made him a boss on a nice team. So I like Alex Collins, man. He's got a high overall. He's been built up really, really nice. So that's one of my picks right there. I like Alex Collins, man. He's a beast.
Gotcha. Well, if you ask me, I don't have nobody. If you didn't make the top 10, oh well. So.
Hold on. One more.
Don't forget about Derek Lennon, huh?
Yeah.
He's been overshadowed him, you know what I'm saying? But he's doing his thing.
Who you said?
Derek Lennon. That other DN.
You know what sucks with teams like that? Yeah, y'all teams be so loaded that sometimes those guys, you know what I'm saying, they don't get a second look. Yeah.
Gotcha. So
another one though that was surprised. It probably surprised everybody. He was the Stretch Armstrong? Denzel Marsh, the
quarterback.
His quarterback has 25,000 yards passing.
Yeah.
I mean, for you to be in a league that's playing over a long time, Schema's actually turned him into a good player. So I thought he was a bum. I called him a bum when he drafted him. I said, Scheming, why would you draft this bum?
Yeah.
You know, he traded away Darnold, but he made me a believer, man. This dude is aight. So,
Yeah.
I can tell you why he's not in the 10.
Yeah.
That'd be a whole nother show to explain why he's not in the 10.
Never beat the Dolphins.
Yeah,
I
bro.
get Schemer on here.
Yeah.
I get Schemer on here to explain why he should be on the list.
Would give you 100 reasons why he should be in there, but the one reason they keep him out would be he couldn't beat the Dolphins. That's
The Dolphins.
Gotcha.
Hey, he never made them Jets better. They could never get over them Dolphins. So
Gotcha.
he did benefit from having all the great receivers on his team.
Right.
Oh, that's
So
Every great receiver they can't.
all 336 of them.
So we gave y'all the 10 candidates for the Hall of Fame, and we gave y'all some names that probably could have been there if they had, longer careers. So hey, stay tuned for the final 5 and who makes the 2026 DML Hall of Fame class. Until then, I want to give a shout out to Addy, man, who jumped on the show, gave me the idea. Tyke gave me the idea as well. And thank y'all for jumping on Sweets 99. Until next year, we will be back with this show. This is gonna be a show that we do every year now. So we had the format and that I like. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for jumping on. We out.